Jorginho speaks out and breaks the silence, talking for the first time about Felipe Luis's dismissal. He shows all his dissatisfaction, but talks about the pressure of playing for Flamengo. At the FRJ press conference before the final of the Carioca Championship, we also have Samuel Xavier talking about Flamengo's quality, about the moment Flamengo is going through, and whether or not that's an advantage for Fluminense. Jorginho talks about Leonardo Jardim's arrival and didn't mince words. Jorginho talked about Jardim's arrival, about how the group is doing, the expectations. He talked about many other things, including talking about a turning point. A very important interview with Jorginho. The Jorginho we bring here. It's a spectacular interview with Jorginho at the FRJ event at the press conference that happened in Barra da Tijuca. And we're here just like that, bringing information about José Boto's departure and also Felipe Luiz's release clause. We're here just like that. Hey guys, greetings, red and black fans. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're just joining, please follow, like, and share on all platforms on YouTube. Subscribe below, turn on notifications with the bell, and leave a like on the video. We're here thanks to our sponsor, YouTube Shopping, right? Do you have YouTube Shopping here? I was going to talk about Haroldo's Caravan, but I'll also mention YouTube Shopping here. You can find this Flamengo jersey here, Rossi's jersey, man. It's beautiful. All the Flamengo jerseys that are available, you can find them on official YouTube Shopping, okay? You can use the platform right here. You'll get it delivered to your home, and you'll be helping out. It helps Flamengo, helps the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel, helps Flamengo too. And man, I wanted to start here as well. Besides talking about Haroldo's Caravan, where you can secure tickets for Flamengo's games, you can guarantee your presence at Mengo's matches, both in Rio and away. And I wanted to take this opportunity to talk here. Guys, just look at the prices, okay? A lot of people came to talk to me, Papa. Flamengo fans didn't buy many tickets for the match against Fluminense for the final of the Carioca Championship. Because the tickets are very expensive, Flamengo's tickets are very expensive, and people are waiting for them to go on sale to the general public. Exactly because then they'll be able to buy half-price tickets, so people are going to buy them. The crowd will be at Maracanã. And then there's also the thing that Fluminense has, that whole check-in thing, right? The fans, only the fans who don't pay anything, you just do the check-in. The ticket prices are also really low. Fluminense has a lot of promotions, while Flamengo's club members pay higher prices, which is a different pricing from the club members. And then those guys pay a cheaper price for the ticket, so they end up being able to buy it. But the truth is, guys, Flamengo fans are really upset with the club's current situation. And to top it off, the tickets are expensive and you have to wait to buy them. The general public has to wait. The general public has to wait until this second to last day, right? This Friday, to be able to buy. So people will definitely get their tickets today. It's very important for you as a Mengo fan to be at Maracanã on Sunday. We're going to crush it once again in a final, in a derby. Flamengo is never left behind. That's the truth, and we know that the fans will get involved and buy their tickets today. Well, look, let me just bring you the information about José Boto, Flamengo's football director. José Boto already knows, okay, he already knows he's going to be fired. He will stay at Flamengo until his replacement is decided. Edu Gaspar is denying that he has been approached now, but he spoke with Angelo Furtado, the reporter. He confirmed that he was approached by Flamengo. Yes. Now he's denying it. Now he's saying no. But there's even a screenshot of the conversation, him saying that he was approached by Flamengo. So if he was approached by Flamengo, José Boto is already out, okay? So, aware that he will have to leave the position, José Boto will continue working as Flamengo's football director until the board officially announces his replacement. That's because the decision was coordinated with President BAP. During this transition period, the director will also support coach Leonardo Jardim in his first days of work at the club. Due to the dismissal, Flamengo must pay José Boto 4 months' salary as compensation for the football director. Okay, it's not a very high salary like a coach's, but they'll have to pay that according to ESPN. I'm going to call someone here. Look, man, a friend of ours, Fabrizio Barbieri. Papa, I'm going to give my opinion that I think if it's not Sunday's lineup, he'll put it in soon. I've been following him since Monaco, and he plays, right? Leonardo Jardim plays with 4 in the midfield. Mbappe used to play with Alassane as the central striker, like Alassane as the central striker. Don't be surprised by this team, okay? Is Rasca and Alassi there? So then he wouldn't have it. He's going to bench Pedro and play with Alcaraz centrally. But then, wouldn't he have it? He wouldn't have the wingers. He wouldn't have Luiz Araujo, Samuel Lino, or Cebolinha. He wouldn't have any wingers. Man, it would be a 4-4-2, right? And he could play with one. It's Alcaraz. There, a tip from our friend Fabrizio Barbieri. He sent it to us. All right, so let's go. Let's bring some information here. Even our friend Derek Rabelow was talking to us. Great big wave surfer. He was following along. ESPN brought some information and Vene Casagrande and UOL bring another one, okay? I got in touch with Jose Boto and he told me he was with Mr. at Ninho do Urubu. I'm with him here. I don't know anything, despite everything that's coming out, that Jose Boto would be fired. The information that's starting to circulate now is that BAP has given up on firing Jose Boto, that he was practically already fired. Edu Gaspar confirmed to Angelo Furtado that he was approached by Flamengo. Now they're already saying he wasn't, but he confirmed it. He sent a message to Edu Gaspar, and Edu Gaspar confirmed that he had received the message that he had been approached by Flamengo. And then we had this situation here, which was ESPN reporting that if he has to leave the position, Jose Boto will continue working as Flamengo's football director until the board officially announces his replacement. This is ESPN. Okay, guys, ESPN, that's because the decision was coordinated with President BAP. During this transition period, the director will also support coach Leonardo Jardim in his first days of work at the club. With the dismissal, Flamengo must pay Jose Boto compensation equal to 4 months' salary for the football director. It turns out that Jose Boto, I reached out to him, and what he told me was, if I have to leave, I'll go home to rest and only go back to work after some time. But I wasn't approached to be fired, and he made it clear, I'm at the training center with the coach. I wasn't fired, I'm at the training center with the coach. So a lot of people are saying that he already knows, but he said he doesn't. That he doesn't know anything, that he doesn't know about any firing, that he wasn't fired and doesn't know about any firing. He was even at the training center, so we're here investigating. ESPN says that he already knows, that they're already looking, other directors, that he already knows he's going to be fired and that he'll stay until they find someone else, Vene Casagrande says. Another thing, it says that Boto's situation is that BAP is not going to fire the director. UOL says the same thing, that BAP is not going to fire the director. And the director says he doesn't know anything and that nobody told him. There's an issue in all of this, you see, folks, and I'm going to tell you here, it's an important issue to talk about. If you know there's dissatisfaction, first you have the guy who brought Leonardo Jardim, who's a friend of Leonardo Jardim, who is Boto. Okay? A guy who publicly took responsibility, took the weight off BAP, publicly admitted that he asked for Felipe Luiz's dismissal, showed the reasons, and BAP also explained the reasons. Then you have another situation. If there are dissatisfied players, Luis Antonio Rubro Negro mentioned that there are dissatisfied players. And he also mentioned that Boto had warned that to Felipe Luis himself. Regarding the players who had a lot of freedom but didn't take advantage of it, as reported by Luis Antonio Rubro Negro, Robinho Rubro Negro, and Castaña. So, if all this is true, if that's the case, if BAP fires him, I'm going to tell you the reality. Here, there was a lot of talk about the dismissal. I understood. Everyone who was in favor, me too. I'm not here. nor am I giving my opinion in that sense, but I completely understand that decision. If BAP really, the information we have now, this turnaround, if BAP decides to keep Boto, a lot of that is because if you have a group of players who want Boto to be fired and some of those players were abusing their freedom, regardless of Boto, the audio from Boto, which is his, he says no, he says it's fake, but regardless of Boto's audio, okay, if that audio from Boto was causing trouble, regardless of anything, if you accept the players' wish to fire Jose Boto, it's a very clear message that the players run the club, they're in charge, they're making the decisions, right? And I think it's a matter of subordination and everything else. That's how I understood it, okay? Now, BAP could also be throwing people off. The truth is now there's already news of a possible turnaround and that Boto might stay at Flamengo, okay? And I'll say it again, I talked to him, I asked here, okay? And the conversation I just had, right? Yesterday, today with Boto, he's working normally at Ninho do Urubu, okay? And it's important for us to think about that. If there's a group of players who were having a lot of freedom and didn't know how to use that freedom, it means that these players want him to leave. And when you fire the executive director Jose Boto, you're sending the message that they're the ones in charge of the club. That's the kind of message you want in your company. Would you like your employees to ask for your director's head and for you to comply? Do you think how would this company be if the employees knew they had more power than the director? It's all very complicated, you know, guys. I'm not giving my opinion. I'm just laying it out because it's really complicated. Do you agree with me? So I think this twist, this news, by the way, that I mentioned to you, he himself told me about it. I'm here as usual, working with Mr. I wasn't told anything. So, this news that came out on ESPN that he was told he would be fired, it came out on ESPN that he was told, but that he would stay until Flamengo found someone. For me, up until now, this doesn't exist because he told me he doesn't know anything and he's at the training center working with Leonardo Jardim. It's simple. Okay, I'm going to bring up the issue now. Look, you all reported the following, okay? Jose Boto will not be fired from Flamengo despite the strain caused by the episode with Felipe Luiz leaving. Fla will not fire him but is considering hiring someone to be closer to the squad. Someone there to be in charge of the locker room. The idea would be to hire a football director, a role similar to Rafinha's at Sao Paulo. It's supposed to be a bridge between the board and the players, okay? So, the situation may have been resolved according to UOL, despite the news that ESPN brought earlier. Okay, so that's how I see it. A concern so that the employees don't take control of management. Okay, we also had the news here. According to UOL, Flamengo will have to pay between 1 and 1.5 million euros for Felipe Luiz's contract termination. Converting the amounts, that's about 6.2 million to 9.3 million reais for the club's coffers. Okay, so the loss is 9.3 million reais for Felipe Luiz's termination, according to information from ESPN. UOL too, right? There are several outlets reporting amounts from 6 to a little over 9 million that Flamengo will have to spend to pay out for the termination fee, right? About Felipe Luiz. Now, I'll leave it with you here, okay? Our coverage, right, from Jorginho, so he can talk about this moment of Felipe Luiz's departure. There's Samuel Xavier talking about the Fla flu as well, this press conference. Pre-final of the Carioca Championship.
Midfielder Jorginho is arriving here for the pre-final press conference of the Carioca Championship.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Hi, Jorginho, how are you? Jorginho Samuel, good afternoon. Gabriel Orfa from Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. I want to ask Jorginho a question. Jorginho, you have this final now in the Carioca Championship with a coach making his debut, right? It's not very common for a coach to debut in a final. How have the first days with Leonardo Jardim been? What are your expectations for the final with the new coach? Thank you.
What's common at Flamengo is very different, right? This club is very different. And for sure, the expectation is high, but we're also definitely working to get back to winning, which is what we're always looking for.
The importance.
I, like the whole group and all of you, ended up being surprised by Felipe's dismissal. But we also know about the dynamic nature of soccer, and this change has come. Now we have to turn the page and move forward, for sure. A final is always something you feel, it's a derby, and we're going to prepare ourselves in the best way possible to try to win, respecting the opponent. As he already said, it's a derby that is deeply felt, and this game has become one that's always very intense. And you definitely have to be prepared for the weapons they have, because by defending well, they've been bothering us, they've been finding some counterattacks that are always dangerous, so we have to be very careful in this final, in this game. What do we have to do, in my opinion? What we're going to try to do is, for sure, shield the group and come together even more, because all the external issues we let influence us. Inside the locker room, within our group, which is a wonderful group, an excellent group to work with, we've already proven that. That's where problems could start, and we want to solve them. So, for sure, the unity of this group is what really makes us strong. It's really intense, right? We already expect, just like them, this extra aggressiveness, this extra desire, really trying to match it. And even more, so I believe that maybe in the Brazilian Championship, which might have been a specific moment, I don't remember what was happening in the other games, or maybe it was about the return trip and a derby, which is really big, it's very intense, and we really prepare ourselves in the best way possible. Sometimes we come out victorious, and sometimes they come out victorious. That's what's been happening. Because this pressure is daily, not just for results, but for performance. And the demands you put on yourself are daily, about how you deal with everything. The pressure when you play for Flamengo as well, it ends up being what it is. And if you're not prepared, that and dealing with the help of your teammates, with the help of the people around you, and keep working harder and harder. Thank you. The whole group had great affection for Felipe and admired his work. We all felt it. I got lost in your question, sorry. Yeah, we obviously also feel the responsibility. It ends up being really take responsibility for yourself. First thing, look in the mirror. And when the moment is delicate, I believe the worst thing would be to start pointing fingers. Identifying daily improvements to help you turn the situation around. I'm sure I have confidence that this is going to change. I believe that's the situation. Like you said yourself, sometimes the first impression is the one that lasts, and the first impression we had was a really good one. That Jardim has very clear ideas, his convictions, his beliefs. And so, regardless of the result of the final, I believe our group is already welcoming and taking in his instructions well, and we really believe in his work. I hope he has the necessary time, freedom, and trust from everyone around him to be able to do a great job. Every trophy is very important because the work is huge, and actually winning a trophy is very difficult regardless of the competition. And another thing is that when you have a photo of yourself inside a club, you're marked in history by another trophy, because that's what really stands out in the club's history, being there with the trophy. For sure, it's hugely important. Obviously, it would be an important moment to be able to turn things around so we can start having a streak of victories, which is important for the group's confidence, for the support of the fans. So I believe that it really is a moment, maybe not a turning point, but a very important one to give our season a boost. The importance of the preseason is simply fundamental. And when you start a season practically without it, you end up feeling it. This isn't an excuse, it's a fact. So when you start the games without having the preseason, it ends up impacting the player's physical condition. That's a reality. I believe that a lot of credit goes to the opponent, credit to them for making it difficult. And really, like he said, we don't choose. We always go in with our culture, with our mentality in the game, with our principles. And in most games we manage to impose that, in others we don't. If not, more than once it was harder with them, so I believe we have to give credit to the work they've done and be able to analyze it to turn this situation around. I believe that the arrival of Leonardo Jardim can definitely create that element of doubt for the opponent. And in what they always prepared with us. So maybe there could be a slight advantage in that. But since it's new for them, it's new for us too. So we obviously have to try to adapt as quickly as possible to the ideas he has and try to make those ideas translate onto the field. So maybe that's a small advantage, and at the same time not really, because how the board handled it, that's something we don't. We're here to play soccer and not to give our opinion on that side. We have to focus and not waste energy on that and spend our energy on what will really make a difference on the field so we can win games. That's my opinion. Thank you. My first impression when I arrived here in Brazil was different, special. To have the opportunity to play professionally in the country where I was born, it's been really, really cool, really nice. And obviously there's a difference, an adaptation to the weather, the field, the opposing fans, so all of that is something you have to adapt to. But I'm really enjoying it, and the level of Brazilian soccer is very high, really very high, and I'm very happy with the choice I made.
These finals have always been tough games, right? Because it's a derby, given the magnitude of this derby here in Rio. And man, these games, we always have to take every possible precaution, right? We know the quality of our opponents, so our team always has to be prepared. We know they have a very fast attack, they don't have very good ball possession, so we're training for that. It could be a distraction for us, right? Regardless of what the opponent is going through, like I said, every derby is a different game, right? And we know all about the quality of their team. And like I said, our team is a team that has a lot of humility to recognize the quality of the opponent. And regardless of what Flamengo is going through or not, I don't think there's any issue of favoritism, right? Favoritism stays outside because when the referee blows the whistle, all of that ends. But I think that regardless of what they're going through, the most important thing is for us to play our football, keep improving, because that's going to be important for us this season.
He was absolutely right in saying that favoritism is for you to discuss and give your opinions on. For us, it's just another big game with a trophy on the line, and we only focus on that, on what we have to do, working, improving, so we can win.